Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Flash Season 7 review series. And today I am going to be talking about Episode 10, Family Matters Part 1, which I have just finished watching. And this episode wasn't actually too bad. I wouldn't say it was the greatest or the worst. It was average, but it was pretty decent. And this episode pretty much picked up where we left off from the end of the last one, where we saw the Speed Force, who's taken on the form of Nora Allen. She turned on them and then she sped away and she caught up with Dion, who she looked like she was ready to kill with her vibrating hand. So this episode pretty much picked up from the end of that scene. But overall, this episode was pretty decent. Certainly not the worst, but at the same time not the greatest, but I quite enjoyed this one a little bit more than I have enjoyed the last couple of episodes. So hopefully they'll start to pick themselves up as we move forward towards the 150th episode. So with that all said, let's get right into it. Let's talk about Episode 10, Family Matters Part 1. So this episode opens with Dion and the Speed Force, and Dion isn't intimidated by her. She explains to him that they are connected, but he wants no part of things. She then explains that she needs his help because Barry, aka their father, is their common enemy because he rejected them. At Star Labs, Iris, Caitlin, and Barry explain to Alexa the whole situation, including the cosmic DNA of things making the forces all connected. Cisco and Chester are looking for Dion while the Citizen team is trying to find out who Psyche really is. Barry wants to train Alexa, but she's very scared. Now, Alexa's been going through some sort of metamorphosis where she mutates into a monster, and Barry, throughout the course of this episode, is trying to teach her how to gain control of her own abilities. And obviously that doesn't go well, but we'll get into a moment. As a lavish home in Central City, Psyche attacks a man named Caleb Fairweather, revealing his face and identity as a man named Bashir. The two men know one another, and the police respond the next day and discover that he's the fourth billionaire to be found in mental distress that day. Iris figures out that Psyche is targeting the members of a society called the League of Lions. Interesting name. Iris tracks down the former president of the League of Lions, Naomi. She gives them the name of another person in the photo, but Psyche shows up and she identifies him by the voice. She tells him she knew he'd never fit in, and also that he was the least financially successful of the group. Iris tries to step in, but he attacks Naomi anyway. The Flash shows up and tries to warn Psyche about the Speed Force, but he attacks him with what Barry later describes as tentacles. At CCPD, Kramer is back, and this is the first time we've seen her since Killer Frost was sentenced, asked by the governor to stay and figured out the source of the metahuman crimes. She wants to talk with Barry, but as he is the only one still on the force who has dealt with some of these cases. Joe later finds a special weapon that Kramer has brought into the station that contains metahuman cure-filled bullets to use on metahumans. She's gone above him to the governor, and Joe later tries to get Cecile to investigate, but she points out that only Kramer can change her ways herself, and he has to figure out how to help her get to that place. Alexa's training begins, and Barry wants to help her fight Psyche, so he has the idea to force Frizura out. Caitlin thinks it's a bad idea, but Alexa agrees upon understanding how bad Psyche really is. They start the process, but it quickly goes sideways. Frizura is drawn out and hurts Cisco. Alexa restores control, but is upset at what happened. She says she's not going to be his weapon, that she's done with him. Caitlin tries to talk some sense into Barry, reminding him that even Thorne was patient with him when he got his powers. Caitlin talks with Alexa, telling her about Frost. Caitlin gives her the mental activity dampener so she can talk to Frizura and hopefully learn to understand her. Barry also tells Alexa to forget the training, apologising to her and telling her if she needs more time, it's okay. Iris and Allegra discover Bashir's story. He was adopted by wealthy hotelers who left him behind when everyone went broke, and they died in a plane crash later on. They realise Psyche feels abandoned by everyone. At Star Labs, they pick up the trace of the last person Psyche is going after, which is Lucas, and Psyche confronts him. The Flash and Alexa respond with the Flash getting Lucas out of the way before Psyche can attack him. Psyche then attacks the Flash with his tentacles, and Alexa communicates with Fruitsa and she comes out. The two working together to face off with Psyche. Once they get him calm, the Flash is able to tell Bashir that his friends had actually set up a fund to help him, revealing that while Naomi turned her back, the others did not. It's ultimately Alexa who gets through to him by understanding his pain. We then see Bashir, Alexa, Iris and Barry have a family conference and decide they need to find Dion as soon as possible. We also see Camilla and Cisco talk about why they are going to move once they leave Central City. Camilla is already job hunting, but Cisco hasn't begun. They also haven't told the team. Later, Cisco confesses to Camilla that he has no clue what he's supposed to be doing now and that his worst fear was to still be working at Star Labs 40 years from now, after everybody else has moved on. She tells him find the right job and the right job will find him. Cisco later gets an email from Argus. Interesting. Joe meets with Kramer. He tells her that Central City needs more than her by-the-book approach, and since they are not even remotely close in their ideologies, Joe quits the Force and he tells her that he's staying on the right side of the line. Wow, didn't expect that. We then see Dion and the Speed Force show up at Star Labs and Dion freezes them in their place, which allows the Speed Force to seemingly kill Bashir, Alexa and Iris before disappearing, and that pretty much ends episode 10 and my review. Overall, not a bad episode. Not perfect, but certainly better than the last couple of episodes that we have seen. And very interesting how they've left part 1 open. And it's going to be very interesting to see how part 2 will play out. But above all else, I quite enjoyed this one. I thought this was one of the better episodes of The Flash. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you think of episode 10? Did you enjoy it? What were your thoughts on Joe leaving the Force? What do you think he will do now that he's quit? And also, how do you think Team Flash will react to Cisco leaving Team Flash? And also, what kind of job role do you think he will have in Argus? And also, how do you think Team Flash are going to stop DN and the Speed Force? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Flash Season 7 review series, where I'll be reviewing part 2 of Family Matters. So until next time, take care everybody and stay safe. And once again, thanks for listening.